Alright, now after finally figuring out that I do not have my mic on for my whole little pre-race spiel here, we'll go ahead and go over it real quick. You're currently watching round number 6 of the ITRL VRX GT3 series from Canadian Tire Motorsports Park here in Wilmington, Canada. For the Canadian GP, we just got done listening to the American National Anthem sung by Chris Stapleton in reverse order this week since we are in like I said, we'll go ahead and go over your track layout one more time. Here it is, the 10-turn track. Thank you to iRacing.com for letting me grab a screenshot of this. That's quality. So we'll do. It's 10 turns. We got the S, we got Clayton corner, we got the Quebec corner, Moss corner, Memorial straightaway, turn 1, and then white zone. A lot of elevation change here too. I'm pretty sure between, I want to say it might be between turns 3 and 4 here. There's a little jump that can send you flying past Moses Corner here. It's kind of a wider hairpin. Let's go ahead and get another look at your points real quick. About 2 minutes left here in qualifying. After his win last week, Carbonneau did move up 2 spots in the points, but he's still 38 points back at 22 points last week. He's currently sitting key number 2 on the qualifying machine. He's playing for qualifying on the pole this week, which might hurt him in the championship punt, as there is only 2 more races after May as we go to America. But Oliver Turcotte within 16 points here. So the championship battle is still pretty tight between Turcotte and Turcotte. Max points driver can gain. It's like 26 in the race. So there is that. Also with the driver finishing outside the points, inside the points, which has been the case. We've had drivers finish within the points. It's been about places on the points. If you have 20, actually maybe 25 points to that situation. So right now it's not impossible for Carbonneau. He needs a lot of things on his side. I'm pretty sure SFTV has clinched the Constructor Championship. There was no one of those. The rest of your points right now are taking a spot in the points. Kevin Freeze gained 2, Andy Castle the last 2. Lucer Hoos, Pam Attack, Ash also in the spot. We'll go over your track facts one more time. The track did start construction in 1960, but it opened up in 1961. It's about 2 miles and change. It does have 10 turns here in Baltimore, Canada. The weather for tonight, one more time. We're racing today about 5 hours ago. Mostly cloudy, 71 degrees. The track temp right now of 88. The track temp has gone down just a couple degrees. Relative humidity stays the same as it's been all along, with 1%. And the wind's been about northwest, about 1 to 5 miles per hour, 5 even max. Looks like they should be finishing things up here. If they're on the track right now, they have an opportunity to complete their qualifying lap. The current provisional pole sitter is Oliver Turcotte. Securing that point, he has about 0.2 of a second over Carbonneau and 0.3 of a second over A quick reminder, if you are interested, we currently have signups open for the 7th season of the Truck Series. Here's the schedule yet again. And it starts in 3-4 weeks. 3 weeks. Next 29th. It'll be starting in 3 weeks here. Monday nights, September 11th. Starting with the Never Get 200 from Daytona. 7 race regular season. I believe it's when you get in. And then it is the original chase format. Most points win 5 different tracks. Technically 2.5 miles. Progressive banking in Kansas. A short track in North Wilkesboro. We go to the Charlotte Roval. And then we also have our super speedway race there at Talladega. If you are interested, signups are open. Just reach out to any one of our admins and they'll be able to help you get signed up for the 7th season. We'll be having recruitment races, I believe, at some point. Stay tuned for that information. But taking a quick look one more time, Carpenter looks to be coming on pit road. Rittenauer currently on track, trying to see if he can improve from his fast time the last couple more. So 1:16.5. Let's see if this lap counts as it comes to the line. Has officially over. I don't think he got across the line in time for his lap to count. So with that being said, we can go ahead and start taking a look at your starting lineup for tonight. And it's Oliver Turcotte on the pole in his Ferrari. On the outside, row number 1, we'll be seeing last week's winner, Luke Carbonneau. Row number 2, we'll see the 97 machine of Eric Drapeau and Matt Klusterhuis. Top 5 starting spot for this week. Kevin Hash and Brandon Klusterhuis will be in row number 3. Row number 4, we'll see Ray Rittenauer and Brandon Pamitat. Row number 5, we'll see Rob Stewart and Dylan Hill. Dylan Hill is the in-race admin. Will not be running, so that outside row will be rolling in. In row 6, we'll see Paul Smith, Chris Gale. Row 7, we'll see Jason Roddenbush. And David Tamir, but he's not here. And then Sawyer Ott will be your 15th and final starter here tonight. I don't know if he is in session. So it looks like 12 drivers potentially here tonight. For tonight. Again, 1 hour event here tonight. They are currently on the starting lineup. Oliver Turcotte is on this. I think it's not up to state. But again, we got, it looks like 12 cars out here tonight. Up our field, and we got drivers who did sign up and not making the race out here tonight. Well, it looks to be about a 1 hour event. From my calculations, I heard about 23 to 25 laps. Could be the estimated fuel run tonight. So we're running about 1:16, we'll say on average. See them eventually looks like maybe a one-stop thing. 24 laps, about 60. We'll go 25 at the long end of a run. Talking about 75-ish minutes. 75 seconds per lap. That actually might be more. Might be yeah, it'd be about a one-stop race taking a look at. It'll be about 30-ish minutes. It'll be about halfway. We'll see these drivers. About my calculations, it could be a little bit off. Could be a little bit on. Might be a no stopper for some drivers. It might be being a no tire stopper for some drivers. Also heard some people say that they like the tires for the run. Towards the back half. But here's the jump I'm talking about, right there. I highly doubt anyone takes it. I think if someone does, it might be our first full course caution. I really hope no one does, because I don't know how these drivers would appreciate that full course caution. Coming down the Andretti straightaway here on the pace lap. This is round number 6 out of 8. Oh, I think the instructor tile is punched. 2.45 is the official track size. Ask me out. 2.45. That's on our official GT3 series schedule. But we should be seeing the pace car ducking off onto pit road here in just about a second. That's the wrong pit road camera. We need to go to this pit lane camera. As Barney the flagman does have the green flag in hand as they're getting ready to come off of turn number 10 to get round number 6 of the GT3 series underway. Brady clean start. There's problems for Rittenauer. Looks like he gets off course, and that grass is gonna, it's gonna go into the wall, but doesn't look to be too bad. Oh, he comes back across the track and almost into what looked to be Rodenbush, but Rittenauer having issues early on lap number 1. Get a replay of that here in just a second. Get the rest of the field here a look. Things look to be calm for now. Let's go ahead and take a look at what happened with Rittenauer. Turn number 2 all just runs a little bit wide. The grass on this wonderful simulator is just ice. It just causes huge impact. That's what unfortunately happened to Rittenauer. Trying to get break. I don't want the car down. It doesn't really do much. He did toast. I don't know if it's a lot. Yeah, it looks to be a lot of damage. He looked like he potentially hit hard here. Time. Look here. This hit might be hard enough to break a rear toe. How? As those tires don't do what they do in real life, and absorb hit. So, fortunately, a rough start to night number 6 for Rick. After getting a spot in the points last week, it looks like it's going to be a struggle for him to get points here tonight. Battle for second has not really calmed down. As they are running 1, 2, 3 yet again. Defoe is currently trying to chase down Carbonell, but Carbonell looks to be pulling away just a tiny bit. Beat on the very straight away. Go. That's clean air. He's pulling away. Mr. Hoos Brothers trying to. Oh, no trouble! Around goes Matt Kluster's on the front straightaway. Apparently sitting there as everyone goes by. Everyone gets through here. What happened to Matt Kluster as he hits another wall? No! Let's go and get the instant replay. Oh no, that's. Alright, fine. We'll click. We'll do it this way. This is in turn number 10. He's right in front of his teammate, his brother Brandon Kluster, who's here. 9, 10. Doesn't look to be contact. It just looks like it just snaps loose, and that's a vicious hit. That might be. Have to come down pit road this next time by and get quick fix repair. You can see him get back going, and oh, it's just another vicious hit there. This car is more than likely probably down some RPMs. It's going to try to limp it back around. It's 2.45 mile road course here to get potentially down pit road to get that quick fix out of the way. So let's see that early on for he had a decent week last week at Watkins. Now it puts a battle for fifth between the Brandons. Brandon Kluster and Brandon Kamikaz now coming through 2 and 3. That pretty quick in these GT3 cars. Had the fastest lap a week ago. Took a bonus point away from Carbonell. He was desperately looking for it. And it's pretty much there on the back bumper. Boosters through 4 into turn number 5 here. Very elongated. I'm going to call it an elongated wide airfield. Andretti straight here. Into turn 8. Now into turn number 9. And he's gonna set the pass here. Turn 10, coming back to the front straightaway. Doesn't look like he's close enough there. He's gonna have to set it up for turn number 1. That is great. He'll set it up for turn number 1. He's gonna get a pretty decent run into turn 1. He's gonna look on the inside of Flusterhuis. He's able to bend into turn 2 and 3. All behind that old Dream Machine and Kevin Hash. He's pulled away up 1.8 seconds here. Go ahead and quickly just reload my overlay, see if that helps anything with you guys. I'm sticking the valve here on these two. This fire hot. Dig it. Go ahead and turn a lap. So we'll close. That one not be able to close. We'll close out of this one. We'll reopen this for you here in just a second. Not missing anything. It's still the battle for 5th. Habitat and Flusterhuis. Flusterhuis was able to increase the gap just a tiny bit there. Not really missing much. Carbonell still has a lead out front. A decent margin here, and again, yeah, this is your closest battle on track. This is now pulled about a full second here over Habitat. Well, there's looking to be an issue there potentially with Paul Smith. Go ahead and click on it. I don't know. This is in turn number 1. I know I've had issues before where this says it's not really. See what happens. This is into turn 2. And doesn't really look like anything happened to Paul Smith with cars pretty clean. So about a second behind. Nothing of note there. 8/10 of seconds now. The battle between 1 and 2 here. Turco and Carbonell. Quite a ways back behind these two. These two usually nose tail. It's gonna be a pretty decent gap right now. Carbonell is just taking his time. It seems like Chris Gale had an issue here on lap number 7 this front. See what happened here is this into turn 3. Oh, he goes around in turn 2. Sorry. Oh, and finally just. Oh, it's like contact. Matt Flusterhuis has more problems. Doesn't look like he came. Oh. Okay. I think it might be. Yeah, it just looks to be connection issue. It does look like there's a little bit of a slide there. Be able to keep going. It looks like he didn't stop down pit road there. Says keep this thing running for about as long as we can. I did mention our 13th starter did have, by chance get out on the track. It looked like he actually didn't complete a lap though, so we're at our 13th and final runner here tonight. And but Habitat has closed the gap in a little bit here on Flusterhuis. About 9/10 of a second right now as a distance. To be the battle for 5th on the racetrack. big week of motorsports racing going on this week. It starts off here with this very exciting action here in the ITRL Racing Week here, the GT3 series. Real life racing. I know they tested the Miatas at Martinsville today. I think F1 potentially returns this week. You know, the Cup Series is at Daytona for their regular season finale. I know the Xfinity Series is also at Daytona. As Hamilton does close in a lot here in turn 1, not 2/10 of a second, but he runs wide, and that's very dangerous. It doesn't look like it affected him much. He was able to keep it going. It's now about 3/10 of a second. Might have cost him maybe a 10th, but barely anything here. Chasing down each other. I know they were racing some open wheel Class C's earlier this week, so they have a little bit of a idea on what kind of how these drivers really race the last couple of weeks. Turn number 5. This is the closest battle really on track. I mean, the battle for seconds starting to heat up as it's like Drapeau's closing in on Carbonneau. Really, they're talking about it's a half second. Really, the battle between second and third and fifth and sixth, about the same distance right now. About that half a second mark. As Pennycat looks like he gets another potential solid run off here. Turn number 10 coming back down the front straightaway. As good as last time as this was able to extend his lead just a tiny bit. Back up front about third. And turn to 5 also looks to maintain that half a second. We like to report every incident on tracks. We'll go ahead and take this quick second to report this incident. Sorry, I got on track. And it says he had a problem. I don't think he had a problem. Yeah, I think his 35 machine's all right. But back to our battles on track. The battle for 5th. Coming down the Andretti straightaway here. Now less than a half a second. Pretty decent gap here. For Payment to potentially close in here in 8, 9, 10. The S's right now. He's right there coming off the... Oh, he's going to be right there going to turn number 1. Does he take it, though? No, he's just going to go ahead and sit there and say, nah. Look if he can close that 5-second gap. Sorry, 3-second gap to Kevin Hash. He's right there. Turn number 2. For seconds, also about the same distance. Drapeau's really closing in on Carbonneau. Looks like he's struggling just a tiny bit this week. That thigh to the outside here coming in 4. Doesn't now see if he can set potentially 5. I mean, he is right there. Coming down the Andretti straight. Quick look at your bow for second. And same kind of distance here. This time through turn 9 and 10. Gonna set Drapeau up for a run down the straightaway. Same corners, 8, 9, 10, 3 S's. Another situation where it's gonna be set up coming into turn number 1. Doesn't look like it really does anything here for Drapeau at Turcoat. A little bit of a weaker exit off of turn number 10 this time for Habitat, but it looks like he has a pretty decent turn 1 as Klusterhuis. I had a little bit of a struggle there off of turn number 1 into turn number 2. Runs the defensive line. Habitat in the BMW, Klusterhuis in the Mercedes. Again, we report every single incident on tracks. We're going to take the opportunity here as they come into turn 5. Doesn't look like much action going to happen here. So not really happening for Boosterhoops. Alright, Camel as Roundbush, there is a car that has the issue. So let's see what happened as this is. Oh, he goes around. He's gonna tiny contact with the wall there. Get back on the racetrack. Let's see what happens here. Turn 5. Oh, he's just gonna stop and let the leaders by. There was a pass made for second. Let's watch the instant replay of that. All right, here we go. This is 3 and 4. Oh, look, Carbonell just. I think Carbonell might have gave up the spot there. I think he knew that Drapeau might have been a little bit faster. He's playing a long game here, but let him go. Now, he potentially used maybe a little bit too much of the tire now. Let him go, see if he can close in the gap on Turco. A little bit of a battle on Turco here. Still a pretty hot battle going here for 5th. It just doesn't look like Camertat's able to get enough of a run to get around him. Matt Klusterhus has another problem here, and he's on pit road. This is into turn number 5. Oh, he runs wide, and this is going to be a tow for him. Not going to stop well enough here. Or he might have said, this is enough, this is the spot where we're going to tow. Potentially will be night over for him. Roundbush also had he might have. Oh, he just runs wide a little bit. Same spot as Klusterhus. But he keeps it going. Doesn't look like he has much of an issue there. But he's currently on the road. The gap for second has closed in just a tiny bit, still about 7 seconds. Half a second here, the distance between Hammerstein and get ready to come off 10. I know this is where, in real life, when the truck series used to come here, that's usually where last lap passes, last lap wrecks usually happen for these drivers. Let's see if there's potentially any sort of last pitch effort until turn number 10 here tonight for any of these drivers. Roundbush also looks like he might potentially have called it a night here in his Porsche. Great out on my Gale does look like he had an issue. Dropping like flies as he runs wide. Oh, this is gonna hurt. Oh, this really is gonna hurt. Oh, I think that might have been the nail in the final coffin for Gale here tonight. He's gonna run wide. Just gets a bad corner exit here. Runs really wide and just, I think he definitely pow. Toe bud. He's currently sitting on pit road. Might be serving his toe time. And there's battles heating up again on the racetrack. Still here to battle for 5th. Still maintaining that half a second distance between Pamata and Klusterhus. And then the battle for second now is back down to about a half second between Drapeau and Carbonell. We're approaching the 20 minutes in mark here tonight's event. As right now, it doesn't look like he got back on track here. He did get around Sawyer, who's fairly sitting to the battle as well. Even the battle for the top 10's not going to be over, as Rittenauer might be able to get himself into the top 10 and keep himself a point. Again, through turn number 5, passes right there. Just not in enough of a distance here. So potentially have to get the draft off booster who's down the right straight here. If they can really do much. The gap between 4th and 5th has gone down a tiny bit. 2.7 seconds. Still Turcotte out front. He's got about 5-second gap over Depo, Carbonneau, Cash. Who's top 5. Back here off train number 10 coming down the front straightaway. This is going to be the closest we've seen Hammertat get to potentially making a pass here. Is he going to go ahead and not clear Klusterhuis into turn number 1? We're going to be side by side off turn number 1. Side by side in turn number 2. Ooh, really close there for Hammertat. But Hammertat finally, after about, 14 laps, gets around Klusterhuis. Now he sets his eyes on Kevin Hash. 3.3 seconds ahead here. I think some early effort here from Klusterhuis. I give him a round of applause. Did an amazing job defending that 5th position. Very, very well. As Chris Gill went ahead and went down a lap to Kevin Cash in 4th place. seconds ahead. Back to 2nd place bound. Back to a 2nd gap here between Carbonneau and Depo. They're starting to calm down just some of these gaps on the racetrack have widened up just a lot. Especially here for about 5th, up to about a 2nd between Klusterhuis and track. Starting to potentially fall out of that decent draft range down very straight. Now 1.2 between Carbonneau and Depo. They've completed 17 laps so far. They're on lap 18. Expect pit stops anywhere between 5 and 7 laps, give or take. And how far you can really shoot it here. I don't know who's on the top of their pit box, but potentially have Gustafson on top of the pit box. So we might be telling them to switch to the here in the next couple of laps. Move them over. The gap to the lead has shrunk just a smidgen, but 2 seconds now, back up to about 5 seconds. And decreased a tiny bit here. 4.7 was about 4.9 when we last took a look at it here. With Dylan Hill. Dylan Hill's out on the racetrack. There he is. Here at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, trying to see if we can complete a lap. Maybe our 14th driver completing a lap tonight. As Gil has issues again. Turn 1, 2 seems to be the problem spot for most drivers. Now he runs it wide, I think. Oh, that's a hard impact. Oh, he's gonna ride this wall for a while. Goes Rob Stewart, who's quietly having himself a pretty decent run here in 7th place. And back on the racetrack. Keep going. Gonna try to see if he. He's gonna put it right here. He's gonna park it. He's gonna do a good old Josh Williams and just park it. I wonder, is he still trying to do? All right. That's an interesting one. I don't know what he's trying to do. I think he might just. This might be him saying, "Yep, my night's done." I'm pretty sure that's him saying, "I'm gonna go ahead and have myself a great night." He's currently now on pit road. Gaps are starting to widen out just a tiny bit, but Hammertat is closing in Camotech is closing in on Hash. Distance was about 3 seconds. It's now down to 2.5. He closed in about a half second on Kevin Hash. He did get past one Mercedes. That's going to try to pass another one. And by the way, Dylan Hill did pass Sawyer Rott here for 13th place. So, I'm pretty sure get past back. Hill's back on pit road. That's the same pit road. Right now, it's back on track. He's a lap or so away from passing Raudenbush for 11th place, and going to be about 2 laps from passing Chris Cruz. And then another 4 laps from passing Chris Skillett. Carbonell has shrunk his gap to Drapeau again. It's now back down to 8 tenths of a second. As again, they're approaching that presumptive fuel window. The data has kind of given information on here during practice, you know, going in, talking to some of the drivers. Again, this number could be off. It could be 23, 24 laps. 5. I'm expecting drivers to start coming in here in the next 2 laps, as that'll be about halfway. As we're 27 minutes in our session here tonight. So potentially come in and make their 1 stop. Right now, we do have 2 drivers out of the event here tonight. Like I said, Jason Raudenbush is currently out, and Matt Kluser is currently out. Currently sitting 10th and 11th, but Rittenauer should be passing Raudenbush here in the next lap or 2. And like speak of Rittenauer, he has a problem on the racetrack. Our current Premier Series champion, let's see what happens here. Oh, he gets into the grass again. This is going to be a long ride as he's trying to get this slowed down. Again, the iRacing.com Motorsports Simulation grass is just not your friend. He's able to keep it out of the wall. Loses a tiny bit of time, but keeps it out of the wall. That's something he was able to do earlier, as it was rustling there early on in the race where he used either some time to fix the damage or maybe took a quick fix or took some time to gain his breath back. As Paul Smith has an issue. No, he doesn't. What? Why you tell me he has an issue? He doesn't have an issue. Car's perfectly fine. Hill apparently had an issue. He's back on track. Oh, he just ran wide there. Perfectly fine. Car going A-okay. As Kevin Hash really losing time here. Cam attack. Cam running a 115.9 right now, 115.2 by the way, Turco out front. He's closing in on, Pantet's really closing in on Hash at an astonishing rate here. That was second last time by. A 116.7 to a 115.9. Second faster lap. Then Hash. He's becoming close to pit stops here. As Turcoat has come down pit road. He's currently on pit road. Turco's gonna run another lap. Carbonell's gonna run another lap. Back to 4th and 5th here. Hash comes down pit road. That brings Camitat with him. Seeing 3 of our top 5 cars down pit road. Cruz stays out. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at time in pit box real quick. About 21.8 for Turcoat. So we'll see. I'm gonna expect we'll see one of these two in Carbonell and or Drapeau come in this time by. 21.9 for looks to be Kevin Hash. 22.0 for Pamakan. There's a little bit of time there. Paul Smith in pit road. You see a race leader. Yes, our race leader comes down pit road. Carbonell also comes down pit road. Got potentially runs over here to Brand Crucifix. Let's try and run this another lap. Then Turco 21.8, 40.2 on pit road. Let's see if either Drapeau or Carbonell beats that. Because they come down pit road this time. So did Rob Stewart's still on the track. He's a current race leader. He's going to potentially see if running it real long here potentially needs any time. 21.8 for both Faircoat and Drapeau. 21.9 for Carbonell. Fastest time's been at 21.8. No one's ran over a 21.8 or 21.3 for when Renard ran down the road last. So I'm going to assume we're going to see Rob Stewart down pit road this time. Currently is a race leader. Currently out front by about 6 seconds. So it'll be about take 34, 40 seconds behind race leader when this all cycles out. And it's not looking good for Drapeau as Turco drives right by him. So, 4 seconds back. He just, I don't know, he's about 5 points. He lost some time up there. Got a battle, little beef for fourth here once things cycle out. Between Kevin Hash and Hamatat. Hamatat trying to put another one of these Mercedes behind him here on the racetrack. 2.6 is right there on the back bumper of Kevin Hash for 27 minutes left. Past halfway. Hill's still on pit road. He's 3 laps away from potentially losing 9, but he should be able to finish within the points tonight. First time this season for that Chiller Boys racing team. Still looking at the battle for fourth here. As this is really our closest battle on track. I mean, we do have Carbonell closing in just a tiny bit on Drapeau, but it's not as close to the distance between Hamatat and Hash. So you're right, get back on the racetrack. He did get back on the racetrack. Oh, this is trouble. Oh, that's going to be a hard hit. That might be all she wrote for that 35 machine tonight. Trying to get back out there and see if we can potentially run a couple laps to get by. But there's 10 drivers who currently are on the track that are bringing on an effort here tonight. All 10 drivers are going to score points tonight. We're still out here on the track. Gale, Smith, Stewart, Clusters, Pamitat, Hash, Carbonell, Drapeau, and Turco will be your scorers. Unless something really happens here in the next 24-ish minutes. Positive one of these 8 drivers who are on. It would take a lot of time. Gale is currently 10 laps behind Paul Smith. So it would need to be. It would need to happen now for one of these 10 drivers to lose. But sorry, their chance at earning. They can lose their spot on track. The chance to earn points. As Carbonell has closed the gap in here for second again. It's now down about half a second. M10 Hash. All Pamitats all over the back bumper here. Pasture, turn number 10. Right, 2-car tangle down the front straightaway here into turn number 1. This battle's, I mean, this is what we've seen with Hammertide and Clusters earlier. Hammertide's able to get there, just not able to do much with it. That might be the case here with Kevin Hatch. It might take a couple laps, it might take need a something happen to Hatch here. Does. Look, there your battle for second. Nothing really has changed here. About a half-second difference. It's kind of looked to be that way. It looks like it's usually going to take some sort of very minor mishap for a pass to be made here. As Pamta has a decent entry here in turn 1-2. Right there in the back bumper, but that is talking like real close, like wrecking close. Able to not wrecking there, so you have to keep going okay. We need to turn with 4 this time. We have a pretty decent opportunity. Not really there to get a run off, to go down the Andretti straightaway here. We're got about the same distance here between Carbonell and Drapeau through turn 9 into turn number 10. All this about 5 seconds behind race leader Oliver Turco, who's led all but maybe 1-2 laps here tonight. Turn number 2, it's, I mean, same thing we've been seeing between the battles of Pamitat, Clusters, Pamitat, and Hash. You get right there, and it's just, you need a tiny miscue, a misstep, just a small one to potentially get by here. You do have a lap car of Paul Smith right in front of him. You need a minor mishap to potentially get around him. That's a tiny bit here between Pamitat and Hash. Not really within distance here into turn number 5. 2 SFTV cars get by the lap car of Smith. No problem there. Into the S's coming into turn number 10. potentially get a decent run off here to potentially see if they can do anything with the Poe in turn number 1. We have about 19 and a half minutes remaining, 19:50 to be exact. Each night's event. But there's just 2 more events here left in the ITRL VRX GT3 series. We go to Road Atlanta next week. And we'll be in the season finale at Road America 2 Tuesdays from now. I believe will be September. Schedule real quick now. Within the same distance, which is September 5th. September 5th, and then we'll be back on Monday nights for the truck series. A lot of action going on here. ITRN coming. And it's been the same gap between the battle for 4th and the battle for 2nd. It's like we're watching 2 identical passing situations here. Like, no driver's been able to succeed so far. Carbonell's been about 0.4 of a second behind, and it's just there. Camotat's been about 3-4 tenths of a second behind. It just hasn't been able to do much. We did watch the battle between Camotat and Puss earlier. It was here in turn number 1. It seemed like Puss trying to rise a tiny bit, and it gave Camotat an opportunity to pass him. But so far, it doesn't look like Cash has any miscue eventually seen get by him. And in the battle for 2nd, I mean, we're talking about 2 amazing drivers who are just they're really hoping one of these 2 great, amazing drivers having a miscue for past May. It looks like Paul Smith might have had a miscue in turn number 5. Ran wide. We've seen that a couple times tonight. Slight impact with the tire barrier there. Looks like did too much damage to his Ferrari. He's still out on the racetrack. Half seconds now the difference between Ash and Camotat. And it's back to about 0.3 of a second here through 3. Into turn number 4. Off in turn number 5 between Jaco and Carbonell. Booster Chris looks like he's found a spot for himself tonight here. He's looking like 6th spot here tonight. He's about 6-7 seconds off the battle between Hash and Camotat. He's about 8 seconds ahead of Rob Stewart, who did lead underneath R1 second like this stops. Carbonell is right there on the back bumper, about 0.2 of a second, a little bit less now. Into the S's. He gets a decent run off here, turn number 10. Down the front straightaway, see if he can do anything with it. Off turn number 1. A little bit of a luck, but doesn't look like he has enough there to decide to make the pass. Looks like that has fallen off a tiny bit. It's back to about a half a second between these 2. Running about 0.3 earlier, so it's a little bit of tire fall off. These 2. Oh, but Sawyer ought to get back on the racetrack. He did pass Jason Ronbush. And Dylan Hill also did get around Jason Ronbush. That is fucking quick too. In that BMW, looks like he's trying to complete as many laps as he can tonight here at Canadian Tire. As we were mentioning something about Camotat saying he looked like he fell off just a tiny bit there. He's supposed to hit back in about 0.4 of a second. Turn number 5 here down the Andretti straight. Looking at the battle between Poe and entertaining here. They have closed in a tiny bit on Turcotte, who's still out front leading. He's dominated this race so far with about 14:45 here to the next bench. About 4.5 now gap between first, second, and third. Why is Pamitat hitting? Ryan Pamitat, you have an issue? This is an interesting one. Running 5th, he comes down pit road. Are you afraid he didn't have enough fuel? 5 seconds, it looks like it's spinning the pit box. Doesn't look like he had any issues. Is there a potential that some of these guys could be short on fuel? It just looks like it might be just a gasoline pit stop. This is an interesting one. He was right there. No damage on his BMW. Just comes down pit road. Stops in the box. About 5 seconds looks like you like a tiny bit of fuel. That one's an interesting one. That takes our battle for 4th out of the situation. Moves Klustercruise up to 5th. Pamitat only loses 3 spots with that pit exchange. Drops down. Sorry, he only loses 2 spots. Drops down to 7th. As second and third goes around Sawyer, this potentially could give an opportunity for Carbonell to get a decent run into the S's. They're really starting to close in on Turcotte. Now under 4 seconds to lead to Turcotte. With about 12.5 to go, could fuel potentially come into play for drivers? This is an interesting one. I'm really confuzzled on why he got pitted out 5th. Oh, there's a mistake. Looking to be a tiny one from Carbonell, but it's going to give him a decent opportunity here into turn number 2. Was on the outside, and it doesn't look like he has enough. Now looks on the outside again, but it looks like he's going to have to potentially settle again for another situation here. Oh, he's there. He's actually side by side with Drapeau. There's 4. Now it's going to see if we can set up into turn number 5. And it looks like he's going to have to wait another lap. As that passing opportunity has now passed. After not even ready straight. By the way, Sawyer did make his way up to P11 now. He has an opportunity to actually get his way into the points tonight. He only needs about 2 laps to get by Gale. So Chris Gale's opportunity at potentially getting points for the first time this season might be taken away by Sawyer here. This time by will be now on what looks to be the same lap as Gale. But they're side by side for second here off of turn number 1. Into turn number 2 will give a slight edge to Carbonell, and looks like that tiny miscue we talk about here. We'll go ahead and rewatch this real quick, as it looks like Carbonell does get around Drapeau for second. This is huge because it gives an opportunity for Carbonell to gain some points here on Drapeau, because he comes in about 38 points behind him in the points battle. With only about maybe 3 points difference. In turn number 5, Drapeau drives in real deep. Oh, wait, Ray Rittenauer came down pit road, but I'm going to assume that he's going to have plug with his earlier excuse on track. Now that this is slowed down just a tiny bit, let's go back and see how all this unfolded for the battle for second. As we're giving a quick shout out to Sawyer. He's way up to P11. Going down the Andretti straight. Decent run here for HP Carbonell. Okay, entrance in at 8-9. I got a little bit of the grass there. 9. Oh, he's going to get an amazing run off. Looks like Drapeau might have gotten just a little bit tight there, trying to avoid touching the grass. It's an amazing run off of turn number 10, which is side by side off of turn number 1. And this is where we're going to see the pass. We're going to see just a tiny bit of a miscue. You can see the car just get a little bit loose for Drapeau there. Watch it one more time. See it here. Not there. Into turn number 2, you can see it's a tiny wiggle. That's all Carbonell needed to make the pass. And he's glad he made that pass because that moves him about almost a second now in front of Poe. But only 4.5 behind Turcotte. I don't know if there's enough time with 8.5 remaining in the session. About 6-7 laps here left tonight. See if he can do anything with it. He needs to gain a lot of ground on Turcotte. Turcotte looks like after his little bit of a slow down moment, looks like he's able to increase that gap. Back to 5 seconds. 4.5. Now again, I'm starting to wonder because I'm still trying to figure out why Cat came down pit road. That's still sitting in the back of my mind of why. He was in a pretty great battle between him and Kevin Nash. He came down pit road. Only reason why, he spent 5 seconds in his pit box. He maybe took barely an amount of fuel to potentially make it to the end of the race here. That's the only thing I can think of. He's 2.2 now behind, well, a little bit less than, he's on 1.7 behind Stewart. He's actually closing quickly on Rob Stewart for 6, so he might get back to P6 here. Carbonell has not really closed the gap here on Turcotte with about 7 minutes remaining. 7 minutes, about 5-6 laps. He needs to close. You're about 5 tenths. It's a second per lap now. Catch Turcotte. Poe has fallen 1.2 now off of Carbonell. Like I said, Stewart might be in a little bit of a battle here with about 6.5 to go with Handicap. That, again, he did come down pit road. He's currently on lap number. We'll give you that real quick. 60th stint, so he did come down pit road. We're still seeing confused here in the Iron Throne Racing Network booth on why he came down pit road. Truly, but he is closing in on Stewart for 6th place. And the gap has now increased to 4.7 out front for Turcotte. That battle for the last points position might not actually come down to anything. It's only a lap difference here between Gil and Raj. Even Dylan Hill. Dylan Hill has an opportunity. He's only 2 laps behind Sawyer Raj. Actually sneak his way into a points paying position here tonight. He's currently in P12. There's now the gap between Paramatat and Stewart's increased to 1.5. It's Sluister, who's had an issue, don't tell me he had a major issue. Let's go watch this. Oh, he had a major issue. Oh boy, he was off course here. Let's go watch this real quick. As Stewart's closing in, and that also gives an opportunity for Pamatat to close in on his battle for fifth. Oh, he just runs wide. He ran. Oh no. Looked like he carried just a little bit too much speed here into turn number 2. And he just went mowing. It doesn't look like the car got slowed down and didn't want to turn. Doesn't hit anything. Huge time loss, though. It's an opportunity for Stewart closing. And Pamatat had a mistake. This is in turn number 5. We've seen this all night long. It's run a little bit wide in turn number 5. Toss him to go around. And that potentially might take him out of that P5 balance. Kind of that rumble strip. I can't really tell you what's on the inside of 4 there. Just a little bit wide. Gassed up those rear tires just a tiny bit. No damage done to either one of those two. Carbonell was closing a tiny bit, but maybe a little bit too late. He's 4.2 now behind Turcoat, with about 3 minutes remaining here. About 2 laps. This is the second time this season we have gone to foreign country. We went to Austria 2 weeks ago after the We're here in Canada tonight. Wow. And all our partners who made it possible to come up here tonight, especially to those wonderful people at the entrance to Canada who just letting you go right through. Go right through. I found a spot. Cut right through because still on that custom list. Not to be allowed in after situations in Austria. Coming to 2 minutes remaining here. Again, it's going to take some sort of mistake here for Turcoat to lose this one. Got about 4.5 over Carbonell, another 7 over Drapeau, 35 over Kevin Nash. It's going to take one of these 3 messing up a lot to not getting SFTV sweep the top. There's 3 after there's a little bit of an issue there in turn number 2 a couple laps ago. He's maintained that gap to about 1.1 seconds. Stewart, you could potentially see something here unfolding, but the way we've seen it all night long, it's going to take another issue for either one of them to have a accident. Multiple last get around to the low, but we see that earlier have hash about that didn't really see classic. Pamatat having another issue here. He's gone off course again. And this time the same spot in turn number 1, 2. Looks like he carried a little bit too much speed. We'll watch that real quick. As the leader should be coming. He received a white flag for short. Doesn't look like he hit anything. Kept the car clean. Back. So coming down into turn number 5, about 30 seconds remaining here tonight. I think they should be able to get around this course here, about half the course. It's 2.45 mile road course. And for those of you keeping track at home, sorry about to get around Chris Gale. Chris Gale will go 0 for 6 for scoring points so far in the season. He has 2 more opportunities to do it at North America and World War. Coming into turn number 8. turn number 9. We should be seeing the checkered flag in the flag man's hand. Off of turn 10, coming to the start finish line, Oliver Turco will win here at Canadian Tire. We'll see Luke Carbonell finish second. Third place will go to Eric DePoe. It's an SFTV 1-2-3 sweep. Kevin Hash, he's about, again, halfway across the track here. As long as he doesn't make a mistake here through the last part of the course here, should come home in P4. And Goose, as long as nothing really happens here, 8, 9, 10 from P5. Keep an eye on here as Kevin Hash will be approaching that start finish line shortly. 4. 8, 9. This is the battle for 5th we see here. Now off of 10. No real send from Rob Stewart. Brandon Klustenhoofs will finish 5th tonight. Rob Stewart comes home 6th. Brandon Pamitat come home P number 7. Paul Smith, Ray Rittenauer, Sawyer Ott will be your final drivers. And Dylan Hale will finish 11th. He'll get around Chris Gale. Both go to Chris Gale, 13th. Matt Klustenhoofs, 14th. Jason Roundbush, and that showing up tonight will be David Tamira. But your race winner tonight, find him on track, is Oliver Turco. And we'll go ahead and look at those results one more time. It's Turco, Carbonell, Drapeau, Hash, Klustenhoofs, Stewart, Hamatat, Smith, Rittenauer, Ott, and your points paying positions in your top 10 tonight. And it looks like they're going to give 11th spot to Gale. Dylan Hill finished 12th. 13th to Matt Klustenhoofs, 14th. Will it move? To Jason Raudenbush, and 15th will be David Tamir, who did not get to start tonight. But it is a 40 laps that were ran tonight. Let's go ahead and get our interviews here tonight. As that will start with race winner Oliver Turco.
Hi.
Hello, Oliver.
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes. I just had to turn my headset up. Congratulations on your win tonight. A pretty dominating win, actually. Seems like you guys at SFTV just know how to dominate races.
Yeah, but I didn't expect to win this one, to be honest. I mean, the only practice I've had this week was, last Tuesday after last race, so I didn't get a lot of time to get some practice. So I'm actually very surprised that I could get this win and I could be this fast. I mean, I could see Luke's time and I was like, yeah, he's gonna get some laps. And by the end of the race, he was catching up to me. But I mean, I'm like, yeah, I'm just surprised that I have this pace myself, to be honest.
You did have the fastest lap of the race. You ran a 1:15.2. That was about a tenth of a second actually faster than Drapeau. Surprised out of the three, Carbonell actually ran the third fastest time. You had the speed here tonight.
Yeah, Mosport is a track I love, and this is a good track to lap at, a track that is difficult to pass at, but I've always had some kind of success. Never wins. It's my first win here, actually, in all of my races in iRacing. But this is a track that I actually loved racing at, I love driving at, and yeah, I think with my pace, I mean, the 1:15.2, I remember Eric was in the chat was like, wait, are you kidding me? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know where I found this space, to be honest, but yeah, that's a great win. I'm actually satisfied tonight.
Now, here's a question. Did you by chance finish with a 0x tonight?
Yes, I got 0x.
You, I think, got yourself a max points tonight. You got yourself 3 extra bonus points with a 0x. You got the bonus point for leading a lap, qualifying on the pole, fastest lap. I think it might have been first time this year, maybe the second time this year we've seen max points scored tonight. This
Yeah, I
actually
was
helped a
wondering if
lot.
Luke had. I was wondering if Luke had it as well earlier this season.
I think it might have been Daytona if he did. I'm not 100% sure. I know someone did have a 0x at some point. But I don't know if it was a max points night. But this actually helps you a lot in this championship battle between you and Drapeau. Carbonell is there. It's just not. I mean, he needs Drapeau to finish like 7th to really close in. This really helps you in that points battle.
Yeah, it helps me, but I have to miss next week's race, so
No!
I'm on vacations next week in the United States, actually, so that's why I have to miss this race. But yeah, especially at Road Atlanta, where this is a race that is tricky, but that I also like driving at that track. So this pains me to not be there next week, but I just cannot be there. So
that is actually terrible news to hear. Now, before we go ahead and let you go back down there to talk it over with your teammate Luke and Eric, is anyone you'd like to thank? Shout out?
Yeah, I'd like to thank my teammates over at SFTV Sim Sports, Luke and Eric, for the great race and all the races we cast as well. Also, the guys over at DJMix.ca, where I mix twice a week, and to the ITRL guys who organize this race and this series in general, and to you, Alex, for the great broadcast as usual.
Well, congratulations on your second one this season.
Yes, I think my first one was at Red Bull Ring. Is that correct?
Yes, because Carbonell wasn't there. It was you beat your pro at the Red Bull Ring. Last 30-minute stint there.
Yep, that's where I passed Eric, and yeah, I guess I just brought it back to where he's supposed to be, which is second place.
He actually finished third. But...
Yeah, it's a shame tonight.
Third, yeah. So, well, congratulations on your win. We'll go ahead and get you back down there and pull up another one of your teammates. You have a great rest of your night, Oliver.
Well, thanks, Alex, and good evening.
As that was our race winner, Oliver Turcotte. Now we get to pull up our second place. This is a lot different than we've seen the past couple of weeks, as Luke Carbonell finished second tonight.
Hey.
You knocked Eric out of his office spot. It took a while. Believe it or not, it took you a couple laps actually to get around him. Oliver was mentioning how this is a tough track to pass. Would you say that was a tough pass to make there?
Oh yeah, it was really tough to pass. I mean, you don't have if you tire most of the package. I mean, you don't have a corner when where you need to really push on your brake to stop the car and make a turn. So everything is a question of rhythm, and you really need to be in a good rhythm to pass the car ahead of you. And that's what I tried behind Eric, and even at the start over Olivier, I wasn't able to just try to put the car side by side in the corner. It's just really tough with those cars to stay side by side, and exceptionally in the turn 2 at Motorsport, you really need to have your shot to be able to be side by side.
Now, it did look earlier that you did let Drapeau by. Was that gentleman's thing? Go ahead and see if you can go ahead and catch Oliver, or was it slow down or something? Was it just go ahead and see if you can catch him? We'll race it back later, race, or was there something on your end?
Well, to be honest, I didn't understand the car in the first stint because the car just didn't stop to oversteer every time that I tried to push a little bit over the safety braking point. So the time that Eric passed me, just because the rear just wanted to pass in front, and I nearly lost the car there. So it's not a question of if he could have catch Olivier. It's just really a question that I wasn't able to maintain the car on the racetrack. It was really tight, and yeah, I mean, except Moss, after the lap 8, I just felt that the car was just oversteer everywhere.
I had a question, but I forgot. Oh, you were able to actually close in just a tiny bit. It might be 2 points when it's all said and done. Drapeau. I did ask Oliver. He did say he finished with a 0x. Did you by chance finish with a 0x tonight?
I finished with 1. I did that mistake in lap
No.
6. Yep.
No, that's oh man. But like I said, you did close in a couple points here on Drapeau. Is it hope for connection issue time for Drapeau closing on the championship battle?
You're really gonna need to ask the question to him, to be honest. I'm gonna say it. It's just a question that I missed Australia that gonna cost me the first or the second position of the championship. It's just a question of this, so I can't do anything else except
You're
to.
just doing everything you can, and
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I know that Olivier's gonna miss another one, but the question is, does Drapeau gonna miss one? And even that, I mean, I can't catch up 40 points when I miss it, so.
right, it's.
I-
I think at the most I think he gained just based on, let's say one of those two just finishing still within the points paying position. It's 23, 24 points. So it's
yeah,
you'd take back-to-back races for one of those two finishing lower end of the top 10 for you to really close in at this point.
but at least we got the team championship, so the constructor championship. So at that point, I mean, it's okay, but it's just a little bit frustrating when you miss a race that count for a double, and you know that you should be near or maybe at the top of the board.
Agreed. I mean, you probably have one of the better average finishes in the season so far, and you're again missing the Austria race was rough for you.
Yeah, and I knew that I would have finished first because I was like half a second or either three three quarter of second ahead of Olivier and Eric. So yeah.
Before we go ahead and let you go back down to your down there, I think everyone's still down there. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to or thank?
I just want to shout out my teammates, Eric and Olivier, to the great job that they did this week at Mosport. It's our Grand Prix. I mean, we were in Canada this week, so that's really nice. But I just want to say a huge thanks to SFTV, your French reference in sim racing. So yeah, that's it. And of course, Alex, to the job that you did week after week. Thank you very much.
No problem. Congratulations on your P2 finish. We'll see you out here next week.
Thanks, Alex. See you next week.
As that was our runner-up in Luke Carbonneau. All that's left to interview will be our third place finisher, Eric Drapeau.
Yes, sir.
I feel like it was a couple straight weeks there of you finishing second. Finishing third feel a little bit weird this week.
I mean, I knew Luke would get faster throughout the session. He joined in pretty late on practice, basically 5 minutes before qualifying, so I figured his first half hour he would struggle more and then he'd get better the second by the time we were done the second field run. Olivier told us halfway through that first stint that we'd be good on fuel, or tied on fuel, I should say, for the whole race, for one stop. But I realized too late that we weren't, in the BMW at least, we weren't as tight. I think I finished with 3.5 liters left, which is a lap and a half extra. It's not that much, but it means I still saved a little too much, and having Luke behind you at full strength is not an easy task to stay ahead of him.
But he did mention that this track is, especially in these cars, it's kind of tough to pass at. Were you having that issue? I know you guys were battling it out early on there, lap 5, 6 there. Would you say it was a little bit difficult to pass?
For sure. But I mean, early on in the race, the intention wasn't to try to dive bomb each other and go for broke. We were only 10 minutes into the race, but he did make a mistake and took Quebec to turn 3. kind of capitalized on it. We went in side by side in turn 4, and he lifted off before I did, so took that spot, was able to drive away a little bit, then made a few mistakes. And I knew by the time that second stint would roll in, it'd be a much taller task to stay ahead, especially with fuel saving in mind. I was lifting coasting a little bit too much than I should have been, but car had good pace. Olivier blew us away when he did that 15-2, that fastest lap, but other than that, I thought I was still competitive. Still a few races left. It's going to be a very exciting battle through the end.
Right. After getting the information I got from Oliveira on potentially missing next week, you might have a chance of potentially locking up the title next week. How does going into Road Atlanta potentially locking the title? So.
Let's just say Road Atlanta is one track that you can find a wall very quickly, so I'll keep my reservations until that race is done. Road America is a lot easier in my opinion. But yeah, it's weird because obviously it'd be a championship, but I'd much prefer winning it on fair grounds and having a straight battle for it. But the reality of it is not everyone is available every Tuesday, so it is what it is. I'll take it if it comes, but there's still a few races left that I have to focus on before that.
That is very much true. Before we go ahead and let you go back down there and debrief with Oliveira and Luke, is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to? Thanks in line.
Well, first of all, the ITRL, Sayrat and Dylan for putting this up. Very nice. I'll say summer series. It's a change from the stock cars. I'll be glad to go back to the trucks this coming fall. But yeah, great for putting this up. Thank you, Alex, for putting the broadcast as well, and for SFTV, your sim racing reference in Quebec, where we'll be back broadcasting early in September in French on weeknights. Especially Thursdays and unfortunately Tuesdays, but that's not going to make me miss the truck series, which is on Mondays, which is fortunate because back in the days when ITRL would be running Tuesdays, I'd be oftentimes having conflicts of scheduling.
Congratulations. We'll tune in to SFTV Tuesdays, Thursday nights here during the fall.
Thank you.
Congratulations. We'll see you next week.
Yes, sir.
And that was your third place finisher in Eric Drapeau. And that will do it for us here tonight in Canada. Sounds like they're starting to pack things up behind me in the booth. We'll go ahead and see you guys next week, same time, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern, on your network live from Atlanta. Again, if you're interested in running the 7th season of the Truck Series, signups are now open. Reach out to one of the admins. And